What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Wizzo. This is a video response to GodIsNotMocked Leave Black Women Alone, addressing the black woman bashes on YouTube. Overall, you had a good video and you proved your points. I would say the tone was pure crap. And you sound too condemning, you sound too condescending, and you sound too convicting. You sound like people's lives are very short. That's how your tone was. The two people you mentioned, flygeekybrotha and srgtwilliepete. You praise flygeekybrotha for the things that he said about black women, in contrast to, and was in response to srgtwilliepete's and what things he had to say. And the thing about that is, I went on flygeekybrotha's little page, his little channel, and it's like he has a shrine of black women. And I'm like, okay, this guy's he worships black women. I'm like, okay, that's him. And I think I totally agree with you there. It was his way of finding a balance to all the bashing of black women on YouTube. But it's like he's some kind of man Johnny. He put black women on a pedestal. But I don't know. That's him. I don't agree with a lot of things he said about black women. I don't know. But you condemn and you bash srgtwilliepete. And all srgtwilliepete ever did was speak the truth and offended a lot of people. You claim that srgtwilliepete say black women are garbage. I would like to tell you, black women are garbage. I mean, look at the videos. You know? And black women are garbage because they made themselves that way. They made themselves that way. But I don't like that. I don't like that. You know, so all srgtwilliepete ever did was help folks out, help the black people out. He pointed a lot of good things out. Those 500 videos, plus videos before he got banned off YouTube, he really did a lot of things to help the black community out. And you saw that as a wrong thing. And I'm sorry, but it is what it is. But that is what it is. Now, before I go into the main things in your video, you claim that that women wanted thugs is something perpetrated by the media. Well, correction. That is a reality that the media enhances and that the media promotes, that the media endorses for revenue. In other words, the media profits off that reality of black women, of women wanting thugs. Black women doesn't matter. And women talking about that the shortage of good black men is crap too, because a lot of times, if you look at it, a lot of black women, they want the media to feel sorry for them because of their wrongdoings. But they don't have. I mean, oh, never mind that. They basically want people to feel sorry for them, and that's not right. So they continue to be how they are. They just want to hear positive things. They don't want to hear the stigma of their existence. So they blame the shortage of good black men because they see a lot of things. They see the media and there's something that the media brings forth about black men and what their girlfriends see and all that stuff. And it's just, it creates a lot of chaos. It creates the gender war. Another thing, you said hood rat chicks want hood rat men. Well, I'd like to tell you that opposites do attract. Educated women will date thugs. Excuse me. Educated women will date thugs as long as he's a good provider and is financially secure and will be there for and their kids if they have any. But and there are those educated men that will take hood rat women. No, as long as they're good. I mean, it happens. And you got some educated women that will feed off a bum. I mean, that'll take care of a bum because she thinks she's doing that man a good thing. And that's not a myth. That happens. Now, I want to go into in the video. I want to go into your 3 points that you made. The 3 points that you made: the black community's demise is the black man's failure to lead. You use reflection analogy when you say any man of any race, when he sees his type of woman, and you see his children, and that's a reflection of himself. Another thing that you pointed out, black men date outside their race. You say that that's an accomplishment. Well, I'll get into that later. Now, I would totally correction now. The black man's failure to lead. You claim that that's the demise of the black community. Well, I'll tell you, that is wrong. However, before we think about this, I want anybody that might come to this video on YouTube, ask yourselves, why is that man not there? Why is the black man's failure to lead, or any man? But we're focusing on black folks now. Why is it the black man's failure to lead? Is he in and out of jail? Is he a deadbeat? Does he want to run from responsibility, get all these women pregnant, want to be a player, not take care of his kids? That's not always the case. But all black women want to do is blame black men for their shortcomings. I'll tell you the real reason. You think about it. Now for those guys who do need to take care of their kids, who that woman is waiting for that man to come back home and take care of his kids, to be a man, take care of his kids, and won't feed them off child support. Guys, go back and do that. I would not agree with you. I would not disagree with you on that. Guys, y'all need to go take care of your kids if you know that woman wants you. That woman wants you there in their lives. But I'm gonna be real with y'all. The real reason why the black community is in peril, is in the demise that it's in. Well, I want y'all to think about this. There are more women than men in the world. The more black women, there are black men in the black communities. Do the math. Now, black women had this strong and independent demeanor to her, and a strong and independent complex. A lot of times, that leader is not there because that woman does not want that leader to lead. A lot of women choose to be single mothers. They don't want that man there. They want to lead. And they don't want to be submissive. Black women insist on being the lead. Remember, we're feminine ran race for the most part. Black women, a lot of times, these women will go so far as go to the court to emphasize their point on the fact they don't want that man there. And they'll still go so far to turn those kids against them. Do anything in her power to make sure that man is not leading. And that head is not there. For the most part, well, think about it. Look it up on YouTube. And as a result, a lot of black men are frustrated. And you see why a lot of black men are in droves doing YouTube videos on how bad black women are. A lot of race of men do not have to go through the things that they got to go through with black women. Second point, use the reflection analogy. You said any man of any race who sees his kind of woman and his kids, and he sees what he hates, you claim that that's a reflection. Well, and you claim that man has self-hate if he sees his type of woman and his kids. Well, I'll tell you something about reflection. You know, the funny thing about reflection reflects back. Okay? Any woman of any race, when she sees her type of man and her type of kids, that's a reflection on herself. And it shows how she carries herself and her kids. Yes. Are you familiar? I'm sure you're familiar with Proverbs 31. Do you see a lot of Proverbs 31 type women out here? A lot of times in the older generation, but those like born after 1965. So yes, there are a lot of women who show hate for their men. Well, ask yourself, is that called self-hate? I don't know. But that's not going to stop a lot of good men from taking care of their kids. He understands that he hates what he sees with his woman, and a lot of times he has a good reason for it. A lot of men and women will have good reasons for that, but if they know who they are, that's not going to stop them from being the person they need to be. And you say black men who date outside their race, you claim that's an accomplishment. I have to correct you on that one. I think you're wrong for the most part. Now there are those athletes that do see that as an accomplishment, and hey, that's them. You know, but you know, they don't want to date a non-black woman, and like Tiger Woods, for example, you know. But for the most part, a lot of men who do this don't date outside their race because it's an accomplishment. A lot of times they date outside their race because it's a last resort. Because a lot of things we have to endure with black women. Now I know every man, like you said, every man has their problem with their women. And granted, black men will have problems when they date outside their race. They will have problems, but not as much as a lot of times, not as many problems as you see as black man have to go through with black women and vice versa. A lot of black men will date outside their race too. I'll go further to say, if anything, it's an accomplishment to find a good black woman. And then you ask yourself, for those who think that's an accomplishment, who really there? You ask yourself, who really takes care of us? Who really loves us? Who's really really looking out for us? But I want to ask you this. Of course, that answer is that black mother or that black woman. But guess what? It's like black women are the only type of woman that can love black men, and that's not true. For the most part, yes. For the most part, yes. But it's not always the case. But then again, I've asked myself those questions. But you also got to ask yourself, but the guys also ask yourself, who's belligerent? Who will blow out? Who will embarrass you in public? Who will cuss you out in public? Who called the police on you? Who will embarrass you? I think I said it. But who will embarrass you in public? Those are some questions that you guys got to ask yourselves too. But I think I pointed out a lot of those video responses. You know, my thoughts might have been a little garbled. I think I made my points. But God is not mocked. I just want you to think. That's not always the case. And you gotta ask yourself, well, us black men are those, you know, you asked us, what are we gonna do about it? A lot of times we may just have to leave black women alone. Because of all the things we have to go through. And I'm not bashing black women. But overall, I felt compelled to write this, to make this video, because this obviously needs a male's perspective. A lot of good black men are suffering. Who do love their kids, but these belligerent black women will not let these men be men. So I've taken about 14 minutes. You know, write what you want, leave whatever comment you want to. You know. Overall, I think it was a good video. God bless.